Saluton, and welcome to this month's Markov's Gallery. My name is Scott, and I'm here with Sam.
Howdy, pilgrims.
And we are going through all the cool stuff we've seen for July from June. It still makes sense.
Still makes sense. Do you know what? This is honestly one of the coolest things we do. Just getting to look at other people's painting and talk about it. I love doing this bit. I really do. It's awesome.
It is fun. Kick off with our first Wild West Exodus pick.
Okay, as is tradition, it's my pick first, and I picked this Ranger Showboat posse by Luca. What first drew my eye was the sheer colour pop we've got. Really vibrant colours going on, the reds, the purples, that ice-cold blue going on with Grace Myrtle, the green that Calamity Jane's wearing, the battered brown and green of Nate, and then the more worn clothing on the man himself, Bill Hickok. It's such a really crisp paint job on here. It's so good. It looks alive. The skin tones are excellent. The metalwork is, again, outstanding. This is just everything about this. There's not a single thing that's okay here. Everything is excellent, right down to the basing. Oh, such a good looking posse, and not one you see painted up too often in this like this. It's nice to see this posse out and being painted.
Yeah, it's definitely not one you see a lot of, which is weird because it is a lot of really good sculpts, and it's quite a nasty posse from what I remember. There's a lot of nasty stuff in it. Like I say, the thing that hit me first was the colour variation between each miniature, because usually people will try and tie them all together. Because it's such an eclectic group of people, having that widely ranging colour palette, it's really good. It works really well. It fits the posse. I really do like the icy blue Grace. She is spot on.
Yeah, she's definitely my favourite, and he's got a nice and right in the centre on the photo. It's an excellently framed photo as well, with the background and everything. Yeah, it's not just a quick snapshot of on the table. He's thought about this and posed them very nicely to show them off at their best.
Definitely. Really good work. I hope we see more of Luca's stuff. This is my pick for Wild West Exodus. I picked Drum. Not only is it a incredibly well done version of the model, he's gone with some really interesting colours for it, because blue is generally something you see more on the Union, but I think it worked really well with Drum in this case. It's a nice sort of light bluey colour against the golds, which obviously it's very reminiscent of a certain Space Marines. Yeah, it's just a really nice version of Drum, and you don't see a lot of Drums painted up, so I had to include this as soon as I saw it. And the basing's immaculate as well. There's nothing I don't like about this model at all, and there's nothing I don't like about the paint scheme that's been given to him and how well it's been done.
No, I like the blues. It's very thematic for a character that is designed to work under sea. Also, what I really liked about the base was that could easily be the desert, or it could be the bottom of the ocean. There's something about it that it could easily just be the sea floor, and he's wading through that. It has brought him nicely to life. You can feel the eye looking. It looks alive. And yeah, it is a really, really good colour choice here. Got the blue tones matching and complementing each other really nicely. Not just thrown together. That is a thought-out colour scheme. And it's really lovely. Well done, Ben.
Yeah. Like you say, that basing quite easily could be desert, could be Caribbean beach island somewhere, could be bottom of the sea. It's nicely ambiguous, but executed brilliantly. So, great stuff.
Okay, this is my second pick for Wild West Exodus. It's Discordant Symphony, as you can see, by Mitch Dapp. I love the cold blue going on here, the really cold metallic blue they've got going on. It really caught my eye. Bought it, really rammed home the mechanical nature of it. The only real colour pops you got are Mina's skin and a few colour pops on Edison himself. But, whoa, it's so nicely done. Such a really good colour scheme. It looks merciless and remorseless, and it's coming to get you. I do wish we had a slightly better photo of this, see it in more detail, but it's really, I think, really well done. A nice use of metallic here, very fitting with the mechanical nature of the Enlightened, and then set off nicely against the red sand that they've got there at the bottom to really help make it stand out. I think it's nicely done. Simplicity with some really nice glow work. I'm just looking at the end of Edison's pistol there with the glow work he's got going on that with the purple. I think it's really lovely.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this. My particular thing that I've sort of noticed when looking at the photo is that the phonograph, I assume they're called horns, are very realistic looking. Like when you see photos of them, it's what they look like with the coloured trim and the dark black sort of almost vinyl looking insides, and I just think that's been done really, really well. Like you say, all the cold tones to it, and then there's the odd colour pop here and there on each model just to make it stand out a little bit more. Edison himself, the pink, or is it pink or purple? I can't.
Pinky. It's a pinky purple, which is, again, it's an unusual colour we don't see very often in.
I think it works brilliantly for him. I think it looks wonderfully mad science-ish. And
there's a couple of hints of it in the Phonic Blaster behind him as well.
Yeah, I think maybe the eyes might also be like that on the dogs, looking at them.
Yes, I think they are.
So yeah, works really, really well. Ties it all together nicely. And like you say, the basing's really, really nice as well, and works against the cold blues of the main colour scheme. So yeah, great work, Mitch. I picked this for two reasons. Well, actually, three reasons. Number one, it is another person that is an incredible painter, clearly by the work, like all the trim work, all the work on the cloth, everything like that. It just, this is the sort of painting that wins prizes easily. The other thing is, everybody knows I'm a sucker for a stage photo. The background for it is just as good as the miniatures themselves. Like, there's a lot of work been put into the detail behind it, and also the Golden Army is not something you see a lot of generally. It was the end of second edition becoming one of the more popular competitive armies because of how many hands units you can field and the size of them. Like, they could just take punishments. But since third edition, it's not been quite so prevalent as it was before. So it's good to see a painted version. I know we've seen a couple of single characters here and there for the Golden Army, but not much more than that generally. So yeah, incredible. And also the basing work, that shouldn't be ignored either. That's fantastic. I
like the colour choices. You've got very vibrant colours, but sort of in the same way they've become faded vibrant colours. It's almost like these were the Day of the Dead costumes and then they went off to war. And look at the colours that Felipe is wearing there. Is the purple shirt and the bright blue and the poo pants, but you see they've faded. And the same with, is it Antonia? I think so. Antonia, I've forgotten her name. The blue skirt and the purple top. She looks like she was going out to a party, but then she's gone to war. The burnished gold on the gun dog we can see with the MIP rocket launchers. Very, very nice, and obviously fitting very well with the Golden Army. And there's some lovely glow work going on in the slits in the armour, and lovely little touches like the red tips on the rocket as well. It's just beautiful. And as you said, the setting they've put on this, I've realised that's not a photo backdrop. That's a model they've put them on. Looks incredible. Really set these out to make them look the best.
Yeah, really does.
This is my first Dystopian Wars pick. It's a pair of Khatangas painted by, because I've realised it's the same person, McCann, that's his name on the Discord, or Arnacum on the Facebook. What I liked about these is I actually saw that these are the finished articles, but his work in progress pictures are the first ones that caught my eye, and these are the finished article now. It's the frost work on the cryogenerators. I've not seen that done like this before. It actually looks like it's got, you could put your finger on that on a cold winter's morning and write your name on it. That is outstandingly good. And I like the colour scheme that he's put on the actual boats. It's a dark, it's not quite black, but almost black with red accents. And the metalwork on the drills and so on, and offset with a lovely red rocket launchers there. Oh, it's really good, but it's the frost work. Oh my god, I love it. It's brilliant. I keep saying brilliant and wonderful and so on, but yeah, this really is brilliant and wonderful and so on.
Yeah. I think it really does make it stand out from the rest of the Khatangas you see, because you never really think the cryogenerators, they're going to be covered in frost and ice and stuff. So it's nice to see them not have the big red stars on them as well. It's something that separates them again from the rest of the stuff that you see with the big red stars on the cryogens. So yeah, it's a really cool scheme, and that frosty looking cryogen does make it stand out just that little bit more than a normal paint job would. My first pick for Dystopian Wars this month is Vladimir's Sultanate Fleet. Essentially, I picked this because I don't see a lot of Sultanate big fleets like this with the Order in, so it was more to sort of show how great the Order are than anything else, but also it's such a cool looking sort of paint scheme. The green works really well for those ships. The pale, slightly metallic green with the reds and the golds. It's a really nice colour scheme. I've seen it a couple of times before on other fleets, but it really works for the Sultanate Fleet. I think it really makes the domes on the normal cruisers look really nice, and obviously the Sultanate death mask style faces on the Order cruisers makes them really, really look opulent and cool. I've got a lot of my Order guys there. Death masks are all gold, so it may have swayed me ever so slightly.
You can be biased towards Order, I can be biased towards Enlightened. It is a great colour scheme. As you say, green and these sort of golds really does work well with us. I wonder if it's mental imagery of oases and deserts. I wonder if that's part of it. But it is really well put together. Just enough green to offset the gold and to make give the gold a focus. If it was just all gold, it wouldn't look right with that just right amount of green there. Some lovely burnished metal work I can see on the domes, as you said. Again, invoking that imagery of the Middle East and so on. Oh, it's lovely, and those are those are big models to paint. They are quite intimidating. Lots of details on them that you have to get just right for it to look really good. So yeah, well done. Okay, this is my pick. It's a Mars fleet, and the reason I picked this by Par UK is that camo work is really good. It's not just green stripes. There's actually two tones of green there. There's a lighter green going around the edge of each of the darker green blocks. It looks proper military. You can imagine this being a genuine paint scheme that may have existed during a seaborne conflict like World War II. help break it up against some of the oceans, especially when it's on certain days when it's green. It does really, it's proper striping, because the point of camouflage is, of course, to break up the outline, and it really, really does. At distance, that would be hard to spot. And you think, well, surely green would stand up on the blue. It doesn't. You have to think about the sea colours. Sea is all sorts of colours, very dark grey and greens and so on. I think that would work really well. And it does accentuate the lines. You follow the curves of the ships really well. So while breaking it up, it does follow the lines, especially around the wider parts of the Mars in the middle there. I love it.
Yep, it's a testament to the skill of the painter, because not only have they got the three colours nicely matching each other, but the proportions of the stripes are all like really, really similar on every single model. Even the little frigates, they are proportioned down to the right size of the frigates that would match the right size on the cruisers and the battleships. It's just, and that has either all been with an eye, it's been done by eye, should I say, and not by stencil, I don't think, because the stencils tend to be more erratic, blotchy patterns, camouflage, rather than the stripes. So yeah, I mean, it's a great colour scheme. It's really well done, and I think it's probably my favourite Mars fleet I've seen so far, which is a high standard because I've looked all of them. So second pick for Dystopian Wars was these Colossus. I saw them and I was just like, wow, the metaling, the weathering, everything on these is so good. I've got to include them. And the posing is fantastic, and the fact that there's one of almost each different type apart from the other type of Metzger, but otherwise there's pretty much everything there, and all very consistent, all in a very like box art colour scheme for them. So good. Really, really nice work. And the water effect on the bases, you know, we've seen it a lot, but it's really cool to see people taking that extra bit of effort on the bases for them, because it does make a difference. I've tried to do a little bit of it before, and it's not easy at all to get the colour balance right. So absolutely smash these. They look incredible.
The posing on the sword-wielding Meister with his hand up, almost beckoning you on, that's good. The glow work on the Metzger in the middle on his weapon, that looks really good. That cold electric blue building up, which we so associated with the Imperium and their lightning weapons charging up, ready to go. And as you said, the lovely shading on the water bases, churning up the water close to them, where you get the bright blues as you churn up algae and froth, going into the deeper blues around the edge. Ooh, so good, so good.
Yeah, it's really good stuff.
So this is a pick for me for terrain. It is, as you can see, a volcano that's been painted by... It's a joint project between Arna and his friend Wolfgang. We've got the standard archipelago islands there and a few extras, and then we've got this wonderful volcano in the middle. And look at that crater. Look at the red tones in that. That's ready to go. That could explode at any moment right now. And then we've got this fantastic grey rock with these yellow tufts, yellow and darkened tufts. It's very volcanic looking. It looks brilliant. What a centerpiece on your board that's going to be.
Yeah, I remember seeing this on the lounge and thinking, wow, that's incredible. I'm sure that either me or Sam is definitely going to pick this for the terrain piece for this month, because it looks amazing. I'm assuming that's crackle paint over... It looks like an old GW Craters base, but there are some other people that do those big plastic craters. So a bit of crackle paint at the bottom, like you're saying, nice red and yellow tones on it as well. It's really striking, and I imagine you could probably write a volcano scenario as well.
It's a scenario centerpiece, isn't it? That's just begging to have some sort of land on the volcano, get the sample, and run like heck before it goes kablooey.
Absolutely.
Scenario being written for it.
So double Dystopian Wars this month for our terrain choices. So I've picked this shot, which is from the guys over at Love and War Games, one of their bat reps that they posted in the Discord, and I think it possibly might be out now as a video, so definitely go and check that out. Not only is there a lot of really cool looking scenery on it, but I don't see a single grey model on there at all, including the the oil rig sets. It's really nice to see when everything's painted up. We don't grey shame here, but we do appreciate a fully painted fleet. I think there's a lot of fish tank ornaments by the looks of it. I say a lot, I think there's a couple of fish tank ornaments on there for certain. Yeah.
That one at the back really works. I love that one with is it a big skull?
I'm not sure if it's a big skull or if it's a big elephant head. Or it might be an elephant altogether, cross-legged. But it works.
Oh yeah, it is an elephant. I'm just getting pressing my face right up against my screen. Right, you're right. It's an elephant. Possibly a Ganesh, possibly. But either way, yeah. I think fish tank ornaments work. I've seen them used on a few different pictures before now, and many of them are viable alternatives to buying pre-sculpted rocks and so on. There's a lot of cool stuff out there that can be adapted to work with Dystopian Wars if you fancy more of the fantastical giant skulls and so on.
Definitely.
It's a lovely table, and as you said, everything's well painted. There's a lot going on here. That's a hell of a lot of SRS putting someone's got on there. Someone's getting hammered in a minute. With it's a great table. It's a great action shot of mid-game. It's not. I don't think it's been posed at all. It's just this is just playing a game, and yeah, it looks really nice. It's a custom. It's not a mat either. That's a custom tabletop with the look of it, because that sea is going right to the edge. That is not a mat on top of a table. I think that is an actual custom tabletop.
Could be. I
could be wrong. I could be. It could just be a well-fitting mat on a 4x6 table.
Not sure. It's hard to tell in this photo, but you're right. It's either a very, very well-fitting mat or it's a custom game table. Either way, it looks great. Really good. And that is all of our picks for this month. Hopefully this will be going up at the start of July instead of the end of July, and
we're getting better.
Yep. I got better. Not really a lot to share content wise. We're still planning on having the Dystopian Wars battle, SRS heavy. We are probably going to try and get a podcast done this month as well. Topic to be determined, but they're the two big things that will be either the end of this month, start of next month.
Yeah, we're all waiting on the new Warbats.
Yep. I don't want to see that little puppet guy with a red ball ever again in my entire life.
Where is that from?
I have no idea. But it is disturbing, so I'll be glad to see the back of him until the next Zorbats I do. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Happy trails, pilgrims.